Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It is February 27th, and today is Brihaspati's Day. Who is Brihaspati? He is the divine guru, and he rules Thursdays. Hopefully, I said Thursday. Did I say happy Thursday or happy Wednesday, honey? I don't know. It's one of those days. Well, it's wonderful to have you all here. I had an amazing show with Gerald last night. You're going to want to definitely watch the recap. We had so much fun. Gerald has a way of getting me out of my very serious headset and reminding me to lighten up a little bit. So I just loved sharing space and energy with him. We had such a wonderful time. So you'll want to just check the replay on that if you weren't able to join us. But oh, it's so much fun. Just such an amazing soul. But yeah, so today is Brihaspati's Day, and he is the divine guru. He represents the spiritual teachers and preceptors in our life, those people that come in with all of that wise advice and direction so that we can stay on our dharmic path, which is doing the right thing for our soul so that we can rise up to those various levels that we came here in these human bodies to do. So Brihaspati, oh, he's so good when he goes over our planets, when he aspects our planets. I call him the Santa Claus of the zodiac, because regardless of what house he's in, even if he's in a bad house, he can provide us with a lot of help. So I adore him. An example of a divine guru in your life, for me, it's Swami Sivananda. He's the author of a lot of the books that I share on the show, because he's got all of this beautiful divine wisdom. It could be a priest, a preceptor, a pastor in your life. It could even be a parent, someone in your life that gave you a lot of wonderful spiritual direction that wasn't based necessarily in religion, but in a spirituality mindset that helped you grow. So that is what we can honor today. Now, Jupiter also represents the husband in the chart, as well as children. So I look for those things as well. He can also tell us a lot about health, and he helps us with our health, because especially when Saturn or Shani is transiting some of our planets or aspecting them, he brings those karmas out. So I'm actually reading a really great book right now called Karma and Disease. It's available at sivananda.org, and it goes into various diseases and maladies that we suffer and what past life things that we did that caused them, and then how to remedy them. So things like that. And it's also by Swami Sivananda, who's kind of my guru. So yeah, a really good mantra for him, this is very simple, is Om Guruve Namaha, or Om Brihaspataye Namaha. And if you want to do a seed mantra, because seed mantras are very helpful because they can kind of add a little more energy. And you can do this via a mala. I'm wearing mine today. And it's Om Gram Grim Gram Sa Brihaspataye Namaha. Om Gram Grim Gram Sa Brihaspataye Namaha. And you can do that 108 times via a mala. You just hold it like this, and you just go from bead to bead to bead until you get to the end, which is your end bead right here. And mine's a tiger eye for my Manipura chakra. And you get to the very end, and that is a wonderful remedy that you can do for Brihaspati today, and that can give you a lot of really great blessings in your life. So I hope that's helpful. All right. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the Adi Devata next. Now, Indra can help us with our mind. Indra he represents Uranus, but he's also on our Guru Day because he is the Adi Devata. He helps us with really helping us control the senses, so to speak, because our senses are called indriyas in Sanskrit. And when we're able to withdraw the senses, we can use them in meditation. Brahmacharya is a type of lifestyle where you don't have any type of sexual activity. And what that allows you to do is take that beautiful sacral energy and have it rise up through the chakras and help you in meditation and gain samadhi, because it's a pleasure center. When you do this, it also helps you maintain like the tongue, because the tongue is linked to that area of the body. And what that does is it allows you to concentrate the body, the mind, and the soul into a singular point and reach higher states of meditation. It also allows you to reach higher lokas. Lokas are planes of existence in areas where your soul can gain some of that divine knowledge. Okay, so Indra is a very helpful deity. He's king of the gods. I mentioned him a little bit yesterday. There have been many Indrias. They actually are Indras, I should say. There have been many kings, because what they do is they go through these what's called Indraloka. They rule there for a while, and then they go through the other planes to learn lessons so that they can eventually become gurus, rishis, and then advance to Ananda, which is merging with the divine energy. So Indra is a wonderful deity to pray for our mind today, and a very good mantra for him is Om Im Indraye Namaha. Om Im Indraye Namaha. Om Im Indraye Namaha. And you can just do that 3 times or via Amala 108, whatever calls to you. And then the Pratyadi Devata, that helps us with our soul, is the creator part of the Trimurti in Vedic, in Vedic philosophy. So we have Vishnu the preserver, we have Shiva the destroyer, and Brahma is the grand creator. He is the father of all beings, all things. So a very good mantra for him is this very simple. Om Brahmaye Namaha. Om Brahmaye Namaha. Om Brahmaye Namaha. And when you pray to Lord Brahma, ask him to help you break out of the more physical aspects of being and into the more spiritual, because he is the spiritual Pratyadi, and help you see the reason behind the material instead of getting attached to it. Because he is the creator of the material universe, and we're very thankful for that, because without these human experiences, we couldn't rise up as souls. But we don't want to become too attached to it. And that's why we pray to Indra for that detachment of the senses. And we pray to Brahma for that, a little bit more detachment from the material, so that we can enter those more lighter spiritual ways of being, because we're in a time called Kali Yuga. It's a very gross material time. So any spiritual activity or mantras or sadhana, which is spiritual practice that we do during this age, it's like a millionfold as opposed to Satyug, which is where like the gods are just walking around. Okay, Kali Yuga is the darkest time, the darkest period, which is what we're living in now. So any spiritual practice you do now can just go light years into your future births. So these are all mantras that can kind of help you with the energy of Guru Day, of Brihaspati's Day, and I hope you guys found those helpful. And if you took my class, you have access to all types of mantras that you can do today as well. So you just go to Thursday, which is Brihaspati's Day, and you can practice those today to honor the divine guru as well, because oh my goodness, you guys, the blessings he gives. Oh, so grateful for the guru. So we have that Rahu Neptune conjunction that's still going on in Pisces. It's going to cause some fogging in the collective. Okay, so just be aware of that. Venus is at 16 degrees and 30 of sidereal Pisces, and it's getting ready to go retrograde. Now, a lot of people have been asking relationship questions on other people's shows and on my show last night. We're thinking about relationships because Venus is in exaltation. We're feeling pretty good. However, Venus is about to go retrograde and join the eclipse on March 14th, and there's a solar eclipse on March 29th. Not a great time to start new relationships. It's a really great time to do reviews in current relationships that you have, make those tweaks to kind of help your relationship grow. Know that Rahu is there. Rahu is a north node energy. It's kind of a, for lack of a better term, a demonic energy. It can cause some fogging, some confusion, some misunderstandings, some over obsessions, things like that. So if you're dealing with any of those things in your relationships, especially your close relationships, just know that energy is there and try to review it from a more detached perspective, okay? Detach your emotions a little bit and see things a little more logically. Okay, that can kind of help you get out of that. They're telling me it's like a 7 of Cups type of energy. It's an illusion, all right? The Mercury is still conjunct Saturn, but not as conjunct as yesterday, so that's good. So we're kind of pulling away, but they're still within 3 degrees of each other. So if you are dealing with any tech stuff today, that's kind of what's going on there. We have a new moon today, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And Uranus is at 29 degrees and 23 of Aries now. Now on March 19th, Uranus will move into sidereal Taurus. That represents a lot of our material institutions. We can expect a lot of things to start to change. It's kind of like a tower. Okay, it's a very Indra type energy. He's the king of the gods, but he wields lightning. So he's going to be striking lightning in Taurus. Okay. That's our material assets, things like that. That's in the 6th house of the United States. So that's the working class, service, bureaucracy, things like that. All right. And we're already seeing some of those institutions get tested on a big way, okay? Jupiter is currently there, so he's helping. Santa Claus is in town and he's helping us there, but he will be moving into Gemini soon. So we need to kind of prepare for Uranus's energy. All right, the nodes, Rahu and Ketu, like I said, I mentioned that they're going to be starting the eclipses soon. I talked more about those in previous videos, and I will continue to give you guys more information as they get closer. Pluto is at 8 degrees and 38 of sidereal Capricorn. That's in the second house of the United States. That's how we view our money, our savings, things like Social Security, things like that. So he's going to be moving through there. So just try to allocate your assets and the things that help you stay secure in ways that, think like a financial advisor, basically, is what I'm saying. Especially in times of great change, because that's going to be very helpful. Mars is direct. He's been retrograde for a long time, and now that he's direct in the seventh house of the United States, that represents our allies and our closest relationships. They're being tested big time. Okay, Mars is a very warrior-like planet, and now that he's direct, we're starting to see what the new administration has planned for us regarding our allies. Okay, so lots of deep breaths as some of those things come out, and you might want to be looking into any types of programs and things that our allies are offering for American citizens if things get a little more intense. Okay, so that's the main stuff going on. I tend to focus a little more on the US because that's where I used to come from. I'm now in Mexico for the very reasons that I kind of went over regarding the eclipses. All right, so let's talk about the moon. We have a new moon today. The new moon is in Shatabishak Nakshatra. Okay, this is in Sidereal Aquarius, and you see the lightning. So a lot of lightning going on today. Okay, this is a sign that's ruled by Varuna, the god of water, because these are the divine healers, the physicians, so to speak. And they're more like mental, psychological physicians. The reason I say that is because Shatabishak is a moon where we have to, if you have this planet in your chart and its Mahadasha is active, meaning the timing is activated in your life, and I can look at that through the Vimshatari chart, you are dealing with all of the demons that you've dealt with in past lives and being forced to literally they come out of the closet, they face you and they go, hi, how's it going? This can come in the form of drug abuse or alcoholism. This can come in the form of really bad choices when it comes to relationships. This can come in the form of just basically bad decision making, okay, that we did in past births, or they could be obsessions, they could be like OCD, things like that. So things that we struggled with in past births that weren't really washed by the waters that Varuna provides and purified are going to come out, and then we have to deal with them. With every single issue that we conquer, we become a divine healer in that area, and we're able to reach out and help others. Now, my moon is in between Tanisha and Shatabishak, so I go back and forth depending on the lunar cycle every year. And when my moon is in Shatabishak, oh my Lord, the number of clients that I get that are helping me deal out with my own past karma come forward. I deal with it, and then I'm able to be a healer. It's a lot of work. It's a lot at once, but it's kind of like cleaning the skeletons out of your own closet. Okay, it's the divine literally looking under the rug and saying, you can't sweep this underneath here anymore. Okay, so under this new moon, it's encouraging you to get into those nooks and crannies of your life and really do some spring cleaning. And that's with your mental headset, with your emotional headset, with your spiritual headset. And look at this new moon as a way to start new with the Indra energy. It's all about starting new habits, new routines that are healthier and better for you. Okay, because Shatabishak, it literally says 100 physicians here. Okay, and Varuna and Shiva are there to help you stay on your Dharma. Shiva, basically, he lights a fire underneath all the tamas, all the things that are kind of holding us back from ascension, and burns them off. Whereas Varuna, he washes away a lot of the impurities in our soul and helps us break through some of the things that we struggled with in past lives. Okay, people with this moon could be a little eccentric, electric, but they're very repentant. Especially if they're dealing with one of these demons and they happen to be extremely addicted or something like that. Once they're able to overcome it, they're repentant to the point where they actually change their words and actions. These aren't the people that maybe struggle with alcoholism and like write a book and start a podcast and say, oh, look at me. That's dressing up your addiction. That's not addressing it. The repentance is you're calling the people that you negatively affected, you're saying sorry, and you're asking, how can I, at moving forward, correct what I've done wrong? So it's not just saying, oh, I have this problem. Look, you have to feel sorry for me. That's not what I'm talking about when it comes to repentance. That's enablement. That's just dressing up the addiction and saying, look, now you have to accept me. No, I'm talking about people who really understand what they did. They're making major life changes, and they are actually doing actions to mitigate the damage that they've done in other people's lives. Okay. It's a really beautiful energy, guys. So because of this, they can be a little reclusive and changeable, okay, because they're dealing with a lot of these things from past births, but it is a very beautiful process. This can come in the form of relationships and a bunch of other things in our lives. I've dealt with it. Oh my goodness, it's been interesting. But I'm very thankful to Varuna Dev for helping me with a lot of that. For me, like I've shared on the show before, it's domestic violence. I'm having to really deal with that aspect of past lives that I just either detached from or I didn't take very seriously, and they're not letting me sweep that under the rug. So, okay, so I'm just going to read a little bit from What Becomes of the Soul After Death. I'm hoping to kind of help you guys understand at least the Vedantic philosophy behind what happens to our bodies, and not fear death, not fear change, and a lot of the things that are inevitable, because this is Mrityuloka, the place where all things die. Not even rocks and minerals get out of here alive. Not even Krishna himself got out of here alive. He got shot in the foot with an arrow, because as Rama, he shot a yaksha. So this is a place where we're given very temporary bodies so that we can learn very important lessons. Okay, so I'm going to talk about Yama Sava today. And again, this is What Becomes of the Soul After Death by Swami Sivananda. If you go to sivananda.org, it's free PDF. Okay? All right. Now, this is the assembly hall of Yama. Yama is the god of death. All right. He is the son of Vivasvan, and it was built by Vishwakarma. The effulgent Sava covers an area of 100 yojanas. It has the splendor of the sun. It yields everything that one may desire to have from it. It is neither cold nor hot, and it delights the heart. There is no grief, there is no decrepitude, there is no hunger, no thirst, there is no thing disagreeable, nor is there any kind of wretchedness or distress. There can be no fatigue or any kind of evil feelings in that Sava. So it's a very magical place. Every object of desire, celestial or human, can be found in that hall. All kinds of enjoyable articles, as also sweet, juicy, agreeable, and delicious things that are lickable, suckable, or drinkable, are all there in profusion. The garlands that are there are of the most delicate fragrance, and the trees that stand around it yield whatever fruits are desired. There are both cold and hot waters. They are all sweet and agreeable. There are holy royal sages, all of great achievements and who have great knowledge of the sastras. Those are divine texts. And they wait upon Lord Yama, the god of death, in the assembly hall. Agashta, Malanga, Kala, these are the performers of sacrifices. The Sandhyas, those are yogins. The living Pitris, those are our ancestors. The wheel of time, that represents astrology, what keeps us coming back for rebirth and death, the wheel of astrology. The illustrious conveyor of sacrificial ghee, that's Agni, when we offer oblations to the fire, okay? All sinful men and those who died during the winter solstice, those officers of Yama who have been appointed to count the allotted days of everybody and everything. Now, when I say the winter solstice, I talk about the north and the south path. If someone dies between, depending on where they are at in the world, July 13th and 14th, all the way to January 13th or 14th, that's called the southern path. Okay, that's the winter way. If they pass away after January 14th, all the way to almost July 14th, they've gone on the northern path. Those are that's the Svargas, the heavenly realms. So these are people that have just gone through what I described yesterday, that gauntlet for a year, and they're finally in the hall of Yama. Okay. So Kasa and Kusa trees and all plants in their spiritual form also wait upon Yama. So it's not just the humans that are there. It's the plants, it's the animals, it's the minerals. They're all there to await their next birth. These and many others are the members of the assembly hall of Yama. They are so numerous. There's too numerous to be mentioned here. It's every being you can imagine from every plane. And can you close the window, sweetheart? I appreciate you. Okay, so the Sava is capable of going everywhere it will. It is wide of extent and very beautiful. Vishwakarma built it after a long continued asceticism. That's sitting in meditation without a lot of material enjoyment. So he was able to create that. It is resplendent with its own effulgence, aesthetics of severe penances, of excellent vows, of truthful speech, and of pure, peaceful mind, and of a heart sanctified by holy deeds. All of shining bodies and are attired in spotless robes. They're adorned with bracelets and garlands, with their holy acts and the marks of their orders. That's a cool scene. Many illustrious Gandharvas, those are the celestial musicians. And you can tell who a celestial musician is in a human body if they're able to attract millions of people to their music, because what they do is they get into the energy of the human experience at that time, they pull it out and they sing it. It's a divine practice. It's really beautiful. It'd be like Freddie Mercury or Celine Dion, something like that. Okay. There are also many apsaras. Apsaras are the muses to the Greeks. They're the cloud goddesses in Buddhism, and they're the nymphs and the fairies if you're in the Celtic traditions and Druid traditions, things like that. Okay, and you can look that up. It's Apsaras. They're really fun to work with. Okay, and they're very creative. They fill all parts of it with their instrumental and vocal music, and with sounds of dance and laughter. Sacred perfumes and sweet sounds in the celestial garlands are all there in crowds. Hundreds of thousands of virtuous men of celestial beauty and great wisdom wait upon and worship the illustrious Lord of all created beings. So that is a description of Yama Sava. And whether you are the greatest sinner or you are the greatest saint, you can end up there and participate in that ceremony. So it's a very beautiful thing. And especially if you're worried about relatives going on the south path, know that's where they eventually end up after, especially if they've been especially sinful. And I mentioned the planes that they can go to in the previous two videos, the Yamalokas, so that they can eradicate some of the more negative aspects of their personality there, put it in their subconscious, and then they end up here to basically determine where their next birth is going to be. So not everybody hell is not an eternal damnation. It's not a fire. It is a temporary place where some souls go, especially if they've been especially wicked, to get some training or aversion therapy so that they don't do that again in another human birth. Okay, so it's a way to kind of reset the soul a little bit. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about concentration and meditation, because that is our way to reach those higher planes of existence and being. And I'm going to talk about Rasasvada. It's another kind of experience. So it is bliss that comes from a lower Savakalpi Samadhi. The sadhaka who has experienced this super sensual bliss imagines that he has reached the final destination and gives up on the sadhana. There are various levels that we experience in meditation. This is a beautiful, beautiful state of bliss that you can be in, but you're still in the body. I read that true samadhi it's you become one with all. Okay, and that takes quite a while to get to. So just as man digs in the earth very deep to find the most precious hidden gems, just as he is not satisfied with petty things, he has found out that just beneath the surface of the ground, so also the sadhaka should continue his sadhana until he gets the unconditioned bhuma, or the highest goal in life. He or she should never be satisfied with Alpam or the lower experiences. He or she should compare their experiences with the highest experiences of the sages that are described in the Upanishads and find out whether or not they exactly tally with them or not. There are a lot of Upanishads at Sivananda.org that you can look into. The Katha Upanishad is really good. That's a good one to start with. Okay. He should not exert until he reaches the seventh yana bhumika. Yana means knowledge. Okay, it's a knowledge plane. Until he becomes a Brahma Varishta. Okay, that's someone with a lot of knowledge. He should struggle until he gets the inner feeling of Apta Kama, Krita Kritya, and Prati Pratyam. That means I have obtained all of the desires, I have done everything, and I know everything. So it's not like, oh, I know everything. It's not like that. It's like, oh, I know everything. Whoa, okay. There is nothing more to be known, and there is nothing more to be obtained. That's what those states allow us to do, okay? The obstacle, Rasaswada, prevents the sadhaka, that's the spiritual aspirant, from enjoying the highest nirvikalpa bliss. Vicharya, that's discrimination or discernment, is another word for it. Prayer, pranayama, those are breathing exercises. That further earnestness and struggle and meditation will remove the above obstacle. So if you feel like, oh, I've already achieved this, I've already achieved that. No, because if you're saying you haven't achieved it because there is no you. So that's kind of the way I tell it. But when you finally go through this way on the south path, you go through all of the things to kind of rid yourself of that karma, and you end up in Yamababa, and you're there for your next birth. Know that you will carry a lot of things in the spiritual practices that you've had in this birth and all of your past births forward, and that determines the family you go into. It can determine what kind of life and career you have, who your children are. All of it is planned out ahead of time, and it's determined by the records of Chitragupta, who is the Akashic records holder. And he confirms with Lord Yama, the god of death, to determine what is best for your vibration moving forward, and it is for your benefit. Okay, so we can finally all reach that beautiful samadhi. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit into the tarot for today. The first card that I got was the Six of Swords. So if you're feeling a little stuck, don't despair. If you're feeling like, what's going on with my family? We're not feeling really great about what's happening. You're not alone, because a lot of these things they're under attack, okay? Once you find out what is going on behind the scenes after the eclipses in March, we have one on the 14th and one on the 29th. A lot of us are going to be making decisions. What do those decisions need to be around? What do we need to start juggling so that we can multitask our way out of what is coming our way? The number one thing they want you to focus on is what makes you feel materially secure, because that is what the current energies are looking at. They're looking at your needs for their wants, okay? So notice the beautiful Queen of Pentacles, and she's on a Capricorn throne. She's very business-minded. She thinks in terms of Excel spreadsheets and mortgage costs and things like that. She wants you to rethink the way that you view wealth and allocate it in a way that's best for you and your family moving forward. Okay, Jonathan and I did that. We are not homeowners. We're technically homeless, okay? We do not have a car. We are carless. We put our remaining assets, even though they were few, into a little bank account, and we're reliant on that. And then I have my practice that I'm doing to try to make money for food and things like that. But we basically took our lifestyle, and my Excel spreadsheet used to be like 30, sometimes 40 lines a month because of all of the expenses that we had living in Seattle with the estate things that we were handling and clients and everything else. Now it's like this big. It's tiny because I simplified our lives down. I did that because, one, I saw what was coming, and two, that was what was best for us. So they're asking you to, especially as Venus goes retrograde in March, to really look at money a little differently, because the old structures are about to be dismantled, okay? Then once you do that, start researching long-term, because the Knight of Pentacles is very long-term assets and things that you can invest in, okay? But notice that he's moving. She's stationary. She's looking at it. She's planning. And he's picking it up and he's moving it into another area, somewhere where it's safe, where he can plant a seed and grow something new and beautiful. Okay, that's the main energy that I'm getting as far as what's going to be revealed in March and what we can do to protect ourselves. Okay. Then I got King of Swords energy. King of Swords is an extremely mental king. He takes his emotions out of the equation before making a decision. He uses his intellect over his heart. Okay. The soul, the sword that he has in his hand represents a soul that is very intellectual, and it's blocking the heart space a little bit. Okay. This is actually a very good thing in times like this, because I call this my Dr. Fauci card. Because if you get around scientists, if you get around doctors, if you get around surgeons, they are able to take their emotions, their kind of that very emotional, empathetic space out and look at things from a very analytical perspective. You don't want to go to a surgeon who goes, oh, yeah, starts crying during surgery. You don't want that. You want someone that goes, oh, this and this and this need to be fixed. And you want them to be precise. You want them to do their job with just the utmost excellence and concentration. They can't concentrate if their emotions are clouding them. They rise above them. That's why we always see them on mountaintops with very few trees, because they've risen above the storm and they're looking from a very top-down perspective. It's kind of like when in the middle of a storm, chickens, who are ground birds, they attack each other. They go for each other's eyes and stuff. That's why a lot of people, they have to put them in their own little pens. If they see a storm coming, they will separate the chickens, especially if they're from a different pedigree. It's a whole thing. If an eagle sees a storm coming, what it does is it spreads its wings and it allows the currents of air to lift it higher and higher and higher, and it just hangs out above the storm clouds. It's not even involved in the emotional drama. And then when the storm subsides, it starts to come down, lands in a tree, and goes, oh, that was over. That's the King of Swords. That's what you're being asked to do. Rise above the storm and maintain your center and your peace as some of the things come out in March. Like I mentioned, the 14th is a lunar eclipse. That's going to give us a little peek into the plans. The 29th one is going to reveal what's going on behind the scenes. Eclipses, solar eclipses especially, reveal secrets, okay, so that are about to manifest. All right, that's why when the April 8th one happened, we started making plans to move out of the country. All right, so I hope that was helpful, you guys, and that you were able to gain some things from that. I want to thank you all for joining me today. I look forward to these get-togethers. I really appreciate your energy, and I hope that you just have an amazing week, and know that Jonathan and I, we send our love, our prayers, and you're always welcome to reach out. I have a lot of great things on my website right now, astrologicaltarot.com, and you can visit that to find out a little bit more about what I offer and if you need any guidance moving forward. So I just want to say happy Guru Day, Brihaspati Day, and I hope that you're able to do some of those spiritual remedies, either the ones that I recommended or ones in your personal practice, to get the most out of this beautiful Thursday. So I'm sending you all love, and take care, everyone.
Sacred knowledge from the stars. Vedic truth heals ancient scars. Mantras clear the karmic way, bringing light to guide each day. Let the planets show their signs as the cards and stars combine. Ancient wisdom flows through